All right, does it seem like your ex won't even listen to you, like they just don't seem to get what you're trying to say to them? If that's the case, if that's what's going on with you, then this video will help you out a lot. We're going to be going over how to talk so your ex will listen to you. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and get into it. Hey there, it's Clay with modernlove.life. Now again, we are going to be talking about communication skills to help you improve and talk so that your ex will actually listen and understand you. For those of you that may not be parents that don't know, there is a book out there called How to Talk So Little Kids Will Listen. And you know, as the parent of a 4-year-old child, I have the book and have read it. So it just got me thinking, like, hey, what if we just sort of did a little joke building off the title of that book, How to Talk So Your Ex Will Listen. So anyway, here we are. The first thing is you want to use objective language, okay? Objective language. Now what I mean by this is we want to drain away all of the opinion and emotion from how we are describing things that happened or are happening or might happen. I know it's so easy to get caught up in saying like, oh yeah, you betrayed me when this happened, or you made me feel sad when this happened, or something like that. It's so easy to get caught up in that. But just know that when you're doing that, your partner is probably going to have the experience of you pointing the finger at them and saying, this is your fault. You did this. You caused this to happen. It's your fault that I'm mad. It's your fault that I'm sad. It's your fault that I can't get through the day. It's your fault that I can't sleep at night because I just keep thinking about everything that could be going on or whatever. And that's not going to help them to be open and receptive to understanding things. Instead, they're probably going to be feeling guilty, and they're going to pull back, and they're going to probably shut down emotionally. If you're familiar with the 5 stages that we talk about, video link right up there in the video card, this is going to cause them to move backwards through the 5 stages, and eventually, if you're not careful, cause them to shut down more emotionally. So what can actually be helpful is if we start to think about how we talk to our partner in a way that's sort of just objective facts. That's to say, if it was you and your partner and a third person was watching the two of you interact, what would they say? They wouldn't say, oh yeah, he, heartlessly abandoned her or something. No, they wouldn't say that. They'd say, they had a conversation and he left and she stayed there. So if you can just start to talk about things in that objective sort of way. So instead of like, you shouted at me, you might say, you said this to me. Or when you told me this, I felt that, right? These are powerful things that you can start to do to help to improve the way that you communicate, to not risk triggering them, to not risk escalating things to potentially an argument or for them feeling overwhelmed and shutting down. Now, before we go ahead and continue with all of this, because we have more things that you can do to communicate with your ex so they're more likely to listen to you, please help a guy out with his YouTube channel by hitting the thumbs up button for the YouTube algorithm, by subscribing to this channel for, well, me and my own channel and also the YouTube algorithm, and hit the bell icon and just drop a comment down below. What is the most frustrating thing that you are experiencing when it comes to communicating with your partner? Go ahead and share that down below. The next thing that you want to make sure that you're doing is to talk about how you feel. That's to say, take ownership of your emotional state. It's so easy to point the finger at someone else and say, you made me feel this way, you made me angry, you made me sad, you make me confused, or something like that. And it's also, easy to say things when things are good too. You make me feel so wonderful. I've never felt as loved as when I'm with you, and things like that, right? And that can be great when things are going well, but when things are not going so well, and you start to invert it, and say things like, you make me feel depressed, or you made me feel angry, or something like that, that's not going to help. So what we want to do is we want to take ownership of those emotions and say, instead, when X happened, I felt blank. Just say, I felt angry. I feel sad. I feel, confused. Whatever it might be. Just take ownership of it. Don't give it to someone else. And also try to avoid using words that imply someone is doing something to someone else, like betraying someone or abandoned. So you wouldn't say, I feel betrayed, I feel abandoned, I feel victimized, or anything like that. Instead, just say, I feel hurt, I feel sad. There's no reason to get overly poetic with all of this. You don't get extra points in life by having the most poetic and complex emotions in the world. Just stick with some of the basics. I feel sad, I feel frustrated, I feel confused, whatever it might be. You don't have to pepper your language with all of these elaborate words that are probably just going to stir the pot and potentially imply, you are doing this to me and it's your fault that I'm feeling this way. Okay, so we want to be careful about that. We want to be mindful of that. The third way that you can communicate as well too is, especially when it comes to very intense things, is to avoid using words like angry or upset or things like that, because these words are not very helpful. When was the last time you were talking to someone, maybe your partner or maybe someone else in your life, a friend or whatever, and you said like, hey, you're angry right now, or you're getting upset? And when has that actually helped? Probably never. Usually when you start to say you're getting angry, it just makes the person more angry. It causes them to look for something to justify their anger. It causes them to look for something to say, well, yeah, well, it's your fault because blah, blah, blah. Basically violating some of the rules we've gone over already. That's fine. They're on their own path. Sure, it would be great if they would watch this video and learn to grow spiritually and emotionally and all that sort of stuff themselves. But hey, you can control you, right? But we want to avoid these emotions because they sort of create more and they cause the other person to get defensive. And instead, what can be useful is two things. Number one, using the word frustrated instead of angry, because anger begets more anger. But I think we can all agree when we're frustrated, like, hey, it seems like you're really frustrated with the situation, rather than, hey, you're getting angry at me. That leads us into the second thing. So use frustration instead of angry or upset. But the second thing is also, instead of saying you are angry, you are frustrated, you are whatever, say, hey, this situation is kind of frustrating. That can be helpful too, because instead of saying like, hey, you are feeling this way, instead you're saying like, hey, you're doing you, I'm doing me, but there's this thing out here, there's this other thing out here. And that thing over there, that's kind of frustrating, isn't it? That helps to distance them from that intense emotion, and it can avoid triggering further challenges in the conversation moving forward. And the fourth thing that we can do to communicate so that our partner will listen is to really take an interest in what their experience is, rather than trying to fill in the blanks ourselves. It's so easy to try to make meaning out of the things that are going on in our romantic relationship situation or in other areas of our lives as well too. It's easy to say, like, why didn't you text me back for 2 days? Or why did you start following that attractive person on Instagram? Or, why did you say that thing to me? Or why did you, not do the thing that you said you were going to do or whatever? And we can easily fill in the blanks and say, oh, you didn't text me back because you don't care about me. You're deprioritizing me because I'm not important to you. Or you followed that person on Instagram because you're secretly in love with them and you're trying to, impress them. And, like obviously if you follow someone on Instagram, they're going to fall head over heels in love with you, right? There's all these ways that we can try to fill in the blanks and make meaning out of things. But the thing is, these are often just best guesses. We don't even know if they're even good guesses, right? Maybe they're even wrong. Maybe they're even incorrect. How would you feel if, let's just say, you're driving down the street and someone just like really aggressively just like speeds around you, cuts in front of you, and just drives around the corner? You might think, wow, what a jerk, right? That person is terrible. But then what would happen if you turn the corner and right there in front of the emergency room of the hospital, you saw that same car parked right there at the entrance, and the person was taking out some sort of sick or injured person into the emergency room? That would change the way that you experienced that moment when they were erratically driving. And in a lot of ways, we can fill in the blanks so often in our lives by just whatever we try to make meaning about someone's actions. Maybe someone doesn't text you back right away. Is it because they don't care about you? Maybe, but maybe they lost their phone. Maybe they're in the middle of a personal crisis of some sort. Maybe they're just taking a little bit of time to think about how they want to respond to you because they want to give you a thoughtful response. I don't know, but there's a lot of different possibilities here. So why are we jumping to the one that casts us in the worst possible situation, that says, hey, yeah, this is happening because they don't care about you, because they never loved you, or because, whatever happened. So just rather than trying to fill in that blank yourself, just get curious and just ask them, because, you can turn it over in your mind and ruminate about it. Maybe you can, talk to someone else and they can help you turn it over and the two of you can ruminate about it. But the only person who's going to really know why they did something, maybe, is them. I say maybe because oftentimes people don't even know why they do what they do. If they did know, they would probably be the most likely to know why they are doing what they're doing. So rather than trying to fill in those blanks, ask them, take an interest, and just turn it back to them and let them help you fill in those blanks, rather than, letting your worst case scenario fears and insecurities and everything like that rush in to try and make meaning out of the whole situation. Anyway, up next, I'd like you to really learn how to connect emotionally with your ex. So next up, I'd really love you to check out this video series here on advanced relational skills. These will help you build a unshakable, strong emotional bond with your partner. Go ahead and click on that next, and we'll see you over there.